Malfeasance as noun. Improper or illegal conduct, especially by a public official or person in a position of trust. Wrongdoing or misconduct, especially in a public office or position of trust. The company's malfeasance was exposed in a series of investigative reports that revealed illegal practices and corruption. The politician was forced to resign after being accused of malfeasance in office. The lawyer's malfeasance in handling the client's case resulted in a lawsuit against him. The police officer was fired for his malfeasance in conducting an illegal search. The CEO's malfeasance caused the company to go bankrupt, leaving thousands of employees without jobs. Martinet as noun. A person who strictly adheres to rules and regulations and enforces them harshly. The new boss was a real martinet, always insisting on strict adherence to company policies and procedures. The drill sergeant was known as a martinet, pushing his soldiers to their physical limits in order to toughen them up. The headmistress was a real martinet, enforcing strict rules on dress code, punctuality, and behavior in her school. The orchestra conductor was a martinet, demanding absolute precision and perfection from his musicians, even during long and grueling rehearsals. The coach was a martinet when it came to training, pushing his athletes to work harder and longer than they ever thought possible. Mesmerize as verb. To captivate, enchant, or hold the complete attention of someone so that they are unable to look away or think of anything else. To hypnotize or put into a trance-like state. The rhythmic sound of the waves can be mesmerizing and soothing. The hypnotist was able to mesmerize the entire audience with his performance. The beauty of the sunset never fails to mesmerize me. The children were mesmerized by the magician's tricks. She was mesmerized by his deep blue eyes. Mollify as verb. To calm or ease someone's anger, frustration, or annoyance. To lessen someone's hostility, anger, or irritability. The teacher tried to mollify the angry student by listening to their concerns and addressing them. The company's apology and promise to make amends helped mollify the public's outrage over the scandal. The manager offered a raise to mollify the disgruntled employee and convince them to stay with the company. The parents gave their child a treat to mollify their tantrum and calm them down. The politician attempted to mollify the opposition by offering concessions and compromises. Mulct as noun. A financial penalty or payment required as a result of a legal judgment or settlement. A fine or penalty imposed as a punishment for a wrongdoing or offense. The judge imposed a heavy mulct on the defendant for his crimes. The city imposed a mulct on businesses that violated zoning regulations. The insurance company paid a mulct for failing to provide adequate coverage to its clients. The union threatened to impose a mulct on the company if they did not agree to the workers' demands. The landlord imposed a mulct on tenants who violated the terms of their lease. Mulct as verb. To extract money or other compensation from someone, especially unjustly. To fine or impose a penalty on someone, typically as a punishment for an offense or violation. The company was mulcted for violating environmental regulations. The store was mulcted for selling expired products. The contractor was mulcted for failing to complete the project on time. The employee was mulcted for embezzlement of company funds. The driver was mulcted for speeding and reckless driving. Munificent as adjective, displaying great wealth or lavishness, generous and lavish in giving, especially with money. The billionaire's munificent donation to the charity helped fund numerous projects and initiatives. The host's munificent hospitality made her guests feel welcomed and comfortable. The company's munificent benefits package helped attract and retain top talent. The scholarship program offers munificent awards to students who demonstrate academic excellence. The philanthropist was known for his munificent donations to various causes and organizations. Parvenu as noun, a newcomer to a higher social class who is regarded as being uncultured or ill-mannered. A person who has recently acquired wealth, status, or power and is considered to be lacking in social graces. The parvenu was shunned by the old money families at the charity ball. The nouveau riche couple felt like parvenus in the exclusive country club. The parvenu's flashy clothes and jewelry were seen as gauche by the aristocracy. The young actress, a parvenu in Hollywood, struggled to fit in with the established stars. The parvenu businessman's attempts to impress his colleagues often fell flat. Perquisite as noun, a privilege, benefit, or advantage that is granted in addition to regular salary or compensation. A right, benefit, or advantage that is enjoyed as a result of one's position, status, or profession. One of the perquisites of the job is a company car. The CEO enjoys many perquisites, such as a private jet and luxury office space. He was offered a salary increase, as well as various perquisites, to entice him to take the job. The perquisites of the position included access to exclusive events and free travel. The perquisites of being a member of the club included discounted rates at the golf course and access to the private dining room. Perspicacious as adjective, having keen insight, judgment, and understanding, mentally sharp and able to see into the heart of a matter, shrewd, astute, and perceptive in grasping the inner nature of things and situations. The perspicacious analyst was able to predict the market trends with great accuracy. His perspicacious observations of human behavior made him a successful psychologist. She has a perspicacious understanding of complex scientific theories. The detective's perspicacious deductions led to the solving of the case. The CEO's perspicacious leadership was responsible for the company's success. Pithy as adjective, concise, brief, and to the point, using few words to express a great deal of meaning or substance, expressed in a succinct and expressive manner, conveying a lot of information or meaning in a compact form. The professor's lecture was full of pithy remarks and insights. A pithy one-liner can often sum up a complex situation. The comedian's pithy jokes had the audience laughing all night. The politician's pithy statement went viral on social media.
The author's writing style is known for being concise and pithy.
Primacy as adjective, supremacy or dominance in rank or importance, the state of being first in order of time or degree of priority. In his research, he focused on the primacy of language in human development. The company's main goal is the primacy of customer satisfaction. The principle of primacy of experience is central to the field of psychology. The primacy of the judiciary is a key component of the U.S. Constitution. The primacy of scientific evidence is critical in making policy decisions. Qualm as noun, a feeling of doubt, uncertainty, or uneasiness about the morality or propriety of a particular action, decision, or situation. A sudden attack of doubt, fear, or misgiving, especially regarding one's own actions or decisions. He had a qualm about taking the medicine without consulting his doctor first. The politician had no qualms about lying to the public to gain votes. I had a qualm about breaking the law, even if it was just a minor infraction. The teacher had a qualm about grading the students unfairly and made sure to be objective in her assessments. The journalist had a qualm about publishing the controversial story, but felt it was important to expose the truth. Quandary as noun, a difficult or perplexing situation, dilemma, or problem that requires a decision or solution, a state of uncertainty, indecision, or confusion, especially when faced with multiple options or courses of action. The CEO was in a quandary about whether to invest in a risky new venture or play it safe. The student was in a quandary about which college to choose, as both had their pros and cons. The homeowner was in a quandary about whether to renovate or sell the house. The manager was in a quandary about how to handle the difficult employee without causing conflict. The traveler was in a quandary about whether to stay longer in a beautiful but expensive city or move on to a more affordable destination. Raffish as adjective, characterized by a lack of conventional respectability or tastefulness, vulgar or disreputable in appearance, manner, or conduct, having a carefree and slightly disreputable charm. She wore a raffish outfit consisting of torn jeans, a leather jacket, and a bandana. The raffish charm of the old bar attracted a diverse crowd of locals and tourists. His raffish sense of humor often made him the life of the party, but also got him into trouble. The hotel's rooftop bar had a raffish ambiance with dim lighting and a laid-back vibe. The actor's raffish good looks and devil-may-care attitude made him popular with audiences. Rile as verb, to agitate or upset, to cause annoyance or irritation. The rude comments from the customer riled up the salesperson. The noise from the construction site riled up the neighbors. The politician's controversial statements riled up the opposition. The dog was riled up by the squirrel running in the backyard. The child's misbehavior riled up the teacher. Rudimentary as adjective, basic or fundamental, elementary or simple in nature. The artist's early sketches were rudimentary compared to their later works. The class learned rudimentary arithmetic skills in kindergarten. His understanding of the language was rudimentary at best. The equipment was rudimentary and needed to be upgraded. The shelter provided only rudimentary protection from the elements. Sycophant as noun, a person who flatters in order to gain advantage, a servile self-seeking flatterer who attempts to win favor or gain an advantage. The politician was surrounded by sycophants who only told him what he wanted to hear. She was called a sycophant for her constant flattery of the boss. The CEO saw through the sycophant's attempts to win his favor with excessive compliments. The king's court was full of sycophants who would do anything for his favor. The teacher quickly learned to ignore the sycophants who were always trying to win her approval. Thrifty as adjective, best at saving or making efficient use of resources, most frugal or economical, spending money wisely and with moderation. She's so thrifty that she always looks for sales and coupons before making a purchase. The thrifty homeowner saved money on heating by insulating the walls and windows. He's a thrifty cook who always finds creative ways to use leftovers. The thrifty traveler looks for budget-friendly accommodations and transportation. The thrifty shopper always buys second-hand items instead of new ones. Tyro as noun, a beginner or novice, a person who is new to or inexperienced in a particular skill or field. The young tyro had a lot to learn about the industry, but showed great promise. The tyro investor made some rookie mistakes, but learned from them. The tyro chef struggled to keep up with the pace of the busy kitchen. The tyro writer was still developing his own unique style. The tyro musician was eager to learn from her more experienced bandmates. Vehement as adjective, marked by great energy or vigor, emphatic or enthusiastic, showing strong and intense feeling, passionate or forceful. The politician's speech was met with vehement opposition from the crowd. She was vehement in her defense of her friend's character. The professor expressed a vehement disagreement with the student's argument. The activist's protest was met with a vehement response from the police. The singer's fans were vehement in their support for her new album. Venial as adjective, denoting a sin that is not regarded as serious or mortal, and therefore can be forgiven without the need for confession, minor or pardonable, easily excused or overlooked. Forgetting to return a borrowed book is a venial offense. His white lie was considered a venial sin by the religious community. The employee's mistake was seen as a venial error and not a major problem. The chef's minor seasoning error was considered a venial mistake in the kitchen. Being a few minutes late to a meeting is a venial fault. Whimsical as adjective, capricious or fanciful in decision-making or behavior, playful or fanciful in nature or character. The comedian's jokes often have a whimsical, light-hearted tone. Her artwork is known for its whimsical style and bright colors. The book is filled with whimsical characters and imaginative settings. The fashion designer's latest collection features whimsical patterns and playful silhouettes. The hotel's decor has a whimsical charm, with colorful murals and unique sculptures. Winsome as adjective, likable, charming, and attractive, pleasing in appearance, especially in a charming or innocent way. Her winsome smile and kind demeanor made her a popular figure in the community. The movie's winsome protagonist charmed audiences with her wit and grace. The singer's winsome voice captured the hearts of listeners around the world. The artwork features winsome scenes of nature and wildlife. The book's winsome illustrations perfectly complement the heartwarming story. Admonitory as adjective. It implies a sense of caution or warning and is often used to describe something that serves as a reminder or a warning to be careful or to avoid certain behaviors or actions. The teacher used an admonitory tone to emphasize the importance of following the rules. The parent gave their child an admonitory warning not to talk to strangers. The coach's speech to the team had an admonitory message about the dangers of complacency and the need for continuous improvement. The company's policy handbook had an admonitory tone, warning employees of the consequences of breaking the rules and emphasizing the importance of compliance. The warning label on the product had an admonitory message, listing potential hazards and providing instructions on proper use. Antic as noun. A playful or ridiculous act or gesture, a whimsical or bizarre behavior. The clown's antics kept the children entertained throughout the show. The court jester's antics were often used to criticize the king's policies in a humorous way. The comedian's antics on stage were unpredictable and often controversial. The dog's antics in the park attracted the attention of other pet owners and passers-by. The actor's antics during the filming of the movie were legendary, and many behind-the-scenes stories became part of Hollywood lore. Appurtenant as adjective. Associated with or necessary for the use or enjoyment of another property, belonging or pertaining as a necessary adjunct or concomitant. The appurtenant garage came with the purchase of the house. The easement was appurtenant to the neighboring property and allowed for access to the driveway. The landlord provided appurtenant storage space for the tenant's use. The appurtenant rights to the land included access to the river for fishing. The swimming pool was an appurtenant feature of the hotel. Appurtenant as noun, referring to something that is considered to be associated with or necessary for the use or enjoyment of another property or right. The appurtenant is a legal term referring to a right or privilege that belongs to a property. The appurtenance to the property included the right to access the shared driveway and use the community pool. The appurtenance to the easement included the right to pass through the neighboring property to access the main road. The appurtenant was granted to the tenant for the duration of the lease agreement. The appurtenant document included the list of all appurtenants and their associated rights. Arrogate as verb. To claim or seize without justification, often to the point of denying others their rightful possessions or status. To claim or take something that one has no right to. The dictator arrogated to himself the power to make all decisions for the country without consulting anyone else. She arrogated the credit for the project's success, even though it was a team effort. The company CEO arrogated the company's profits to himself and his family, leaving nothing for the employees. He arrogated the title of expert without actually having any qualifications or experience in the field. The landlord arrogated the right to enter the tenants' apartments without their permission, violating their privacy. Browbeat as verb. To intimidate or bully through aggressive or overbearing behavior or language. To persuade or coerce through the use of threats or intimidation. The manager browbeat the employees into working overtime without pay. The bully browbeat his classmates into giving him their lunch money. The coach browbeat the team after their loss, making them feel ashamed and guilty. The prosecutor attempted to browbeat the witness into changing their testimony. The teacher browbeat the students who didn't understand the material, instead of providing additional help. Canard as noun. A false or unfounded story or report, a type of duck typically having a long neck and bill. The article in the newspaper was based on a canard, with no sources to back up the claims made. The rumor that the company was going bankrupt was a canard spread by a competitor to hurt their reputation. The politicians' claim that their opponent was involved in illegal activities was a canard without any evidence. The conspiracy theory about aliens invading the planet is a canard with no scientific evidence to support it. The story about the restaurant serving exotic meats turned out to be a canard when it was revealed to be a prank. Chary as adjective. Being cautious, careful, or guarded in giving or allowing something. It can be used to describe someone who is reluctant, reserved, or hesitant. He was chary of trusting people he didn't know very well. The company was chary about releasing sensitive financial information. The dog was chary of strangers and would bark at anyone who approached the house. The politician was chary of making any promises that he couldn't keep. She was chary of investing her money in the stock market.